We make the rules, pal. The news, war, peace, famine, upheaval, the price of a paper clip. We pick that rabbit out of the hat while everybody sits out there wondering how the hell we did it. Alcohol, right?
And with the Golden State Warrior defense, let's flash back to 2022 when the Grizzlies were actually the favorites over the Golden State Warriors. The series in which Ja Morant got injured in Game 3. And keep in mind, even with Andrew Wiggins in this lineup, Ja Morant's speed was still too much for this team. And it's crazy how just all these injuries he's recently had just kind of came back to bite him. And just the lack of focus with his gun incidents. I mean, check it out once again right here. Tie game with about 2 minutes left, and Morant's speed just presents an issue for the Warriors. It's too much to deal with. Again, right here with about 30 seconds left with Andrew Wiggins on him, their fastest perimeter defender, and Ja still does his thing. So fast forward to this season, the Warriors don't necessarily have a speedy defender. And Ja, even through all his injuries, that speed still presents a problem. Look at the players out on the court. Nobody has the perimeter speed that Andrew Wiggins has. It could be just the luck of the basketball gods, because this is the second straight time in a playoff scenario that Ja just gets an injury while going up against the Golden State Warriors. And in both scenarios, they really didn't have an answer for him. Again, in that 2022 series, Ja Morant was averaging 38 points per game. So going into round one of the playoffs, what's going to be their answer for a speedy player like Amen Thompson and also Jalen Green? In this league, we're always hearing them say it's all about the matchups. And with the Memphis Grizzlies, even though they did have bigger size than the Warriors, the unfortunate thing is that their center in Edey, he doesn't quite yet have the experience. See, right here, he has an advantage. But is he able to put the ball on the ground fast enough and not only finish or just improve his decision making, hit guys off to see who's open? See, with Edey, his decision making is going to be real important right here. Pods is going to blitz him. His precision on his passing and his decision making. You see, he just missed Pippen Jr. down low for an easy layup. But eventually he's going to make these reads. He's still a rookie. He's still learning. And this is why I said the Warriors, they kind of lucked out in a few scenarios right here going up against the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant's ankle, and also with them having a few inexperienced players, Scottie Pippen Jr. just being a tad bit too small in defending Curry, with Jalen Wells being out, and also Edey in the post, not necessarily being a swift decision maker real quick in a very pressurized and highly stakes playoff game. See the Warriors right here, them just loving to play small. Edey on this roll. And look at the Warriors. Look at everyone that's out on the court. They're all small. Got Draymond, the low man. There's really no answer when you look at it. If Edey was a more polished, kind of vet, the Warriors would just have a lot of issues. See, with the Grizzlies right here, down 4, just Edey getting the ball in the post right here. Could he make the quick enough decisions to kick out or just look someone open? Just kind of read the floor, but right here, he doesn't necessarily have the touch yet. But that was an important shot with 5 minutes left, down 4. Here's Edey again, posting up Jimmy, and Draymond is blitzing. Is he quick enough to read the floor and make this pass? He's tall enough to make it, but he kind of reads it too late and turns the ball over. When it comes to the Memphis Grizzlies, they're in an interesting conundrum, because this team, they're a good team. They have a nice little youthful unit, especially for a small market team, the way they organize and kind of structure everything around Ja. But where does the duo of Ja and Desmond Bane rank? And also another question I have is, sometimes do they force things into Ja when it doesn't really necessarily have to be? And here's a prime example of it right here. The controversial ending to the game, where they started off the play a little bit too late, and it's really designed for Ja Morant. But in reality, Desmond Bane, he really had the hot hand, especially from 3. And the second option really should have been Jackson Jr. to take this. but they didn't even get off the inbound as they get called for the violation. And that pretty much sealed the game. But there's a lot to be said about this very particular matchup. For the Golden State Warriors, this might be fool's gold into this, little play-in victory, because there's quite a few storms ahead and things are going to get quite rough. And for the Memphis Grizzlies, I would say they got a few decisions to make, because at times when you have a superstar like Ja Morant who really can't stay healthy and he's on one leg, and you have other players who are hot from three, why not go to them? But then again, they fired their coach right before the postseason, and the temporary person that just took over, he might not have the power above the superstar. It's an interesting dynamic with the hierarchy in the NBA with these teams. It should be coach, then the superstar. But in the NBA, it's really the superstar, then the co-star, then the coach. But again, these playoffs are going to be very, very interesting. Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies are really a team that's trying to get back to their glory days around the time of 2022, where they were actually favored and viewed as a better team than Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors that end up winning the championship. But Ja Morant and his lack of focus and just injuries piling up, it's amazing how guys at the end of the day take certain things for granted, and they're really trying to get back to where they once were. But it's some interesting dynamics that are playing out here in the playoffs. Just touching base on a few interesting nuances, and we're going to get deeper into this as playoffs kind of get along. But I'm going to leave it at this for today. Until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.